for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Mr. Lennox, in May of 2016, you submitted a report on the Secretary of State's email records management, and you referred to 2 separate incidents in 2011 in which then-Secretary Clinton's private email server was targeted in hacking attempts. In January of 2011, there were 2 instances where a non-State Department employee notified Clinton's Deputy Chief of Staff that he had to shut down her server because he believed someone was trying to hack in. The next day, then Secretary Clinton's Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations, Houman Abedin, told senior staff not to email sensitive information over Clinton's server. Is that true?
That's what we reported, and that's contained in the documents we reviewed.
Okay. On May 13th, 2011, after 2 of Secretary Clinton's immediate staff discussed Clinton's concern that someone was hacking into her email after she received a suspicious link, Secretary Clinton received another email with a suspicious link from an undersecretary. She replied to the email directly, asking if the undersecretary had really sent that email since she was worried about opening it. Is this best practices? Is this the way you're supposed to? I'm no expert on the internet or anything, but my kids always told me, no, don't open it.
Well, I can't speak to what's best practices in that community. I mean, I think
But is that the way you should respond to a suspicious email, especially after you've already had staff warning you that someone may be hacking into it and that you're concerned that it's being hacked into?
Well, what we reported is that under State Department rules, you're supposed to report when you believe you've been hacked, and that was where they fell short. They didn't report those 2.
So they did not report it. Even though Ms. Clinton believed that she was being attempted to be hacked into, she did not follow State Department rules and report it.
That's correct.
This is Hillary Clinton we're talking about, Secretary of State.
That's correct.
That's the one. Okay, just want to make sure. By responding to that email, do you think that Secretary Clinton may have allowed a hacker to gain access to her emails?
I really would have no knowledge and ability to answer that question, whether she may have allowed an attacker.
But
obviously, it's a risk, and that's why it's required to be reported.
I was about to say, that's why we have the policy in place. Sure, it's a
Yeah.
risk. And I guess that's where we get the extremely careless or whatever it was. Anyway, Mr. Lesnick, at any time during your investigation, did you see evidence, and this is important, please hang with me here, okay? At any time during your investigation, did you see evidence of Clinton staff knowing that her server, the server, was unsecure, yet they still sent sensitive information over it?
I'm not able to say that. We know from the records, we were not able to interview a number of folks, but we know from email records that there was discussions about the server. Whether they knew it was secure or unsecure, I don't have any evidence about that.
No evidence about it. Mr. Lennon, if Hillary Clinton's private email server was as secure as she has time and again assured us that it was, saying it was safe and secure, then why would her staff be so concerned? I mean, you stated in your report her staff showed a concern that don't use don't open this email, don't use this because we think you're being hacked into. Yet we've been told by her that it was perfectly safe and secure. Isn't that true?
We weren't able to interview her staff, so I'm not able to comment on what they were thinking at the time.
You know, I think, Mr. Lesnick, that it's pretty clear that the Secretary actively jeopardized the network and national security as well. I think any rational person would understand that this is what happened. I hope that you'll continue to investigate this, and I hope that you will report back to Congress any information that you might get. Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back.
Thank the gentleman. We'll now recognize the gentleman from Wisconsin.